Since becoming best friends in the 3rd grade, Abbie has always been the person who lights up the room. Whether she's cracking you up with her sarcastic sense of humor, filling you in on the most recent Cardinals game, or getting a Christmas song stuck in your head, your day is guaranteed to be a little bit brighter. From attending our very first state convention together, to watching her fill the role of Washington State Treasurer, it has been incredible to see Abbie's passion for agriculture and service grow. I know that wherever the next step of her journey takes her, Abbie will look back on her time serving Washington FFA with so much pride.
Growing up together, I have come to know Abbie as one of the most hardworking and dedicated people that I know. She was always a role model to me and continues to be to this day. I will always admire the passion she puts into everything that she sets her mind to. Throughout this past year, I have witnessed her dedicate her entire life to her position as state treasurer and watched as her love for agriculture and FFA grew to new heights. I'm so proud of all that Abbie has accomplished and excited to see what her future holds. I'm now proud to introduce my sister, our 2019-2020 Washington State FFA Treasurer, Abbie Dorhauer.
Have you ever been knee-deep in an argument? So passionate about your point, so certain that you were right, that you'd be willing to bet doing the dishes for an entire year on it, and then all of a sudden you realize you're wrong? In that situation, I never have the guts to tell the other person that they are right. There is no way I'm going back at that point. I realize I'm trapped and that if I say anything else, it might get real embarrassing for me. So I use this line. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. Think what you want to think. For some reason, backing down like that is so much easier than just admitting to myself and the other person that I was wrong. And that maybe, just maybe, they have a point. Truth is, owning up to our mistakes is a little more complicated than we would like to think. And I don't have the courage to say, I was wrong. We can sugarcoat this as simply not being honest with ourselves, which is true, but in all reality, it's a form of avoidance. According to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, the definition of the verb avoid is to get or keep away from a responsibility through cleverness or trickery. This means all the schemes we make up to get out of going to school, a due date, or having a tough conversation is just our brain's way of avoiding something. The question is, why? We know that when we face our problems, conflicts, or hard decisions, we feel relief. We know that bottling up our thoughts and not dealing with whatever is at hand makes us feel worse. So why do we do it? Before we answer that question, let's take a trip down memory lane. It was spring of my senior year. I was planning on running for state office, but I also had to pick a college to attend. Now, for those of you who know me, might also know that decision-making, not my finest quality, which meant I did myself no favors by applying to 7 different schools. How on earth was I supposed to decide? The short answer, I just didn't. Well, at least not until it was May 1st, and I had to. There were aspects of each school that I loved, aspects of each school that I didn't love, and aspects of each school that I just wouldn't know about until I got there. There were so many things that could go wrong with every choice. In my mind, that was just too much for any 18-year-old to sort out. That wasn't true though, considering thousands of 18-year-olds do it every year. The truth was that this 18-year-old didn't trust herself. So what did I do? I avoided it altogether. We always hear that trust is earned. In theory, you would think ourselves is the easiest person to earn our trust, but that isn't always the case. When I make a decision, what happens if it's a mistake? If it's the wrong one? There is no one else to blame but myself. We avoid things because we don't trust ourselves. The weird thing is, most of the time, we never give ourselves a reason to not trust ourselves. There are so many things that we do day in and day out that require self-trust that we don't even think about. Like, how about that time you decided to jump into the deep end of the pool, trusting you knew how to swim? Or the first time you stepped into a show ring, trusting you knew how to work your animal? Or the time you decided to ski and put enough trust in the fact that you wouldn't roll all the way down the hill? Or how about that time you stood in front of a panel of judges and trusted yourself to speak intelligently about a topic you were passionate about? We could sit here for hours and talk about all the things that could go wrong with these situations. All the what ifs. But chances are, these are things we all just did. We trusted ourselves and we didn't think about what could go wrong. Or maybe you did, but you did it anyways. So what happens when we let these what ifs control our life? When we decide that the risk is higher than the reward? We have all heard of the word potential before. We understand how to use it, but what does it actually mean? If you watch HGTV, you've probably heard this word used all the time on fixer-upper shows. It always goes like this. The couple enters a rundown house that, to the common eye, looks pretty disgusting. They walk around for a little bit, checking out the rooms, and finally one says, if you knock down this wall and added an island here, it would be perfect for entertaining. They then look at each other and one says, I know this house is a little over budget, but it has a lot of potential. The house is nowhere near where they want it to be, but they are able to look into the imminent future and envision the capability it has to be greater than it already is. That is potential. It is having the capacity to grow, to bring out something inside of you that has yet to be unlocked. Part of what makes potential so incredible is the fact that we have no idea what the limits to our potential are until we set out to find them. If we let the fear of the unknown sway our decisions, our full potential will never come to fruition. Jessica Cox is a motivational speaker, a world record holder, a black belt in Taekwondo, and the world's first licensed armless pilot. Jessica was born without arms, but still led a normal life. As a young child, she did what all the other students in school did, not letting herself or anyone else think she was different or needed to be treated differently. She grew up to embrace these differences and simply learned new ways to perform everyday tasks. After high school, she attended the University of Arizona. From there, her speaking career took off and she traveled spreading her words of optimism and encouragement to many. Jessica had accomplished a lot at this point in her life, but there was still one thing she felt she had to do, and that was face her biggest fear: flying. Little did she know, she would learn to love it and become the first person to receive her pilot license by flying with her feet. Throughout her life, Jessica trusted herself enough to face her fears and to not avoid the things in life that were harder for her. Jessica didn't let anything else but her own desires guide her, and that's why she was able to reach her full potential. She made things possible that people thought were impossible. There have been so many moments in my life, big and small, where I wanted to let the opinions of others decide my course of action. I was so caught up in making everyone happy and not disappointing anyone that I let it hold me back from making choices that were right for me. If I hadn't let go of the fear of living up to certain expectations, I wouldn't be standing in front of you all today celebrating one of the most impactful years of my life. I encourage us all to take a step back and identify what is weighing you down, and to place enough trust in the fact that we can face any problem head on without avoiding it or worrying about the what ifs. Imagine what we could all do if we just trusted ourselves to take the path we feel is right for us. Not the one we planned, not the one someone else wants us to take, but the one we want. Imagine if we let go of all the avoidance that is built up inside of us and just got done what needed to be done, addressed what needed to be addressed. Trust is where we stop avoiding. It's where the fear of risk is outshined by our reach for a reward. And it's where we, as FFA members, can unlock our true potential.
I appreciate her kind heart. She really just has like a kind heart that she gives to everybody, and once you really get to know her, she has a really awesome story to tell. She has accomplished a lot in her few years in FFA, and it's very inspiring, and I think her sharing that story and sharing her accomplishments, she's extremely humble about all of that, which is also amazing, but just kind of being able to share my story with her and hear her story. She's very just honest and real and raw, and I love that about her.
I think that Abbie Dorhauer's legacy will be her determination, and I think that'll probably go down to her kids or to any work that she goes into, because she is a force to be reckoned with, and a great force at that one. Like, there is nothing that will stop that gal. And I look forward to see what her legacy becomes, but whatever it becomes, determination will be the ultimate thing that she leaves behind.
Little Abbie's strengths, I would say, one, she's very organized, so that helped the team out a lot. She also has the ability to connect with members a lot more than she thinks she does. She connects with members in an amazing way that I don't think she realizes she has. She can go up and people are naturally drawn to her. She's really approachable, and that really helps a lot. So she's great.
I am grateful for little Abbie's. That's hard. Probably her commitment. She gets a task and she does it to the best of her ability every single time that she's handed something, and she never gives up until it's perfect.
Abbie is really, really smart. That's the first thing that I recognize in Abbie. And she's also just very hardworking and dedicated. And when she has a task, she sees it through to the end and she puts 100% effort into it. And she's also extremely professional, which, I mean, she won the employment skills competition, so that's no surprise. But I always try to be professional as Abbie, but it's kind of big shoes to fill. She's super smart and super professional, and I wish I had that same level of those traits.
Lil Abbie had a huge impact on Washington FFA this year. She was able to demonstrate to members every day in every engagement with them how to be professional, how to really take what you've learned and experienced in FFA and apply it to your everyday life, but also how to have fun doing that and how to accomplish the very biggest of dreams in doing that. And I think that is something that is just incredible and is a real gift that she brought to Washington FFA this year.
Abbie, you came into our lives with a heart that showed so much love for the team and the members. You have always taken every difficulty head on with a passion that shows you're dedicated to the people you love. You have inspired all of us to be better people than we were yesterday, and have shown us that we will always have space in our hearts for more than one person. You may be the youngest of the group, but you are the team mom because of your kind heart. Love, the ACA officers.
Woo! We love you, Abbie.
Love you, Abbie.
Thank you, guys. Aww.
Yay, Abbie!
Should not have put on mascara today.
The chair will now entertain a motion to accept Abbie Dorhauer's retiring address.
I move that the Washington FFA Association accept Abbie Dorhauer's retiring address as her resignation of state office, which will become effective at the closing of the new officer installation ceremonies.
I support the motion to accept State Treasurer Abbie Dorhauer's retiring address.
It has been properly moved to accept Abbie Dorhauer's retiring address. A second is not necessary. All those in favor, please indicate using Facebook reactions or comments. The motion passes. Ladies and gentlemen, our 2019-2020 Washington FFA State Treasurer Abbie Dorhauer.
Yeah! Woo! Go Abbie! Just
Abbie! Oh, thank you guys. That was super sweet. I love you all.
We love you.